Hello, everyone. My guest today is Huala Greavy. He's the founder of a company and CEO of a company called Palbox, a B2B SaaS startup that focuses on being the easiest way to send and receive HIPAA compliant email. The company is located in San Francisco and has over 1,000 customers in all 50 states. Huala likes to go kayak fishing in his spare time. Huala, are you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So interesting take here on email marketing, HIPAA compliant. So tell us what the company does and who your main customers are.
Yeah. So, like you aptly described, we're the easiest way to send and receive HIPAA compliant email. We launched in 2015. I'm from Hawaii. Now I live in San Francisco. And our value proposition for our customers is that we removed the friction typically involved when people need to send a secure email in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So we got rid of the portals, the app downloads, the key installations. We just removed all the friction.
And what's the business model? Is it a pure play SaaS or what?
We're a B2B SaaS. The provider pays for our product, not the patients.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Give me an example of a real provider.
We got hospitals, doctors, and everything in between. Social workers, sleep disorders, autism, nonprofits.
And on average, what are these guys? I mean, are we talking like $100 a month or $100,000 a month?
So our average customer pays us about $1,000 a year.
Okay.
So we're really strong in SMB.
That's good. And what do they get for that pricing? Is it based off number of seats or what's it based on?
Generally, it's on the number of seats, correct.
Okay. So a hospital might have 10 people that need it and they'll pay $1,000 for the year for it.
Yeah. So our model, we encrypt all email for all users and every device. So we wrap around an organization's domain name and we provide blanket protection for all the employees. Yeah,
okay. So a hospital, I mean, if a hospital signs up, I mean, how many seats are they buying in one shot typically?
For our hospital customers, it's at least 500 typically.
Okay. So they're getting 500 seats for just $1,000 a year?
No, the average customer pays us $1,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have kind of power laws? You have a long tail, but then you have 4 or 5 customers that are huge?
Yeah, more than 5, but yes, that's correct. We're very strong in SMB and we're trying to move up the food chain.
Yep. Okay, very good. So launched in 2015. Have you bootstrapped or raised capital?
Well, we're in Silicon Valley, man. So we've raised $600K to date. And in this part of the world, that's practically bootstrapping.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We've raised some.
And what's your team size at today?
We're at 12.
12 people. All remote or based there in the Valley?
11 in SF.
Okay, good. So right there in the Valley, you're in the thick of it. And then walk me through what you've scaled to in terms of total customers using you.
1,200 customers, all 50 states, 4 countries. Early product market fit. Very thankful for that. And yeah, we're just this year is about crossing the chasm. That's our strategic objective.
Jeffrey Moore, that's a good book. I mean, I want to talk about more what that means for you. But first, I mean, if I take 1,200 customers times $1,000 a year, you guys are what, 1.2 million in ARR right now, something like that?
We're north of 1M ARR. That's correct.
Okay, that's good. So doing about kind of 90 or 100 grand a month right now.
That's correct.
What does crossing the chasm mean to you?
Well, we want to be the default mainstream choice when it comes to HIPAA compliant email. So we want to switch from the early adopters, the innovators, which we do very well with. We want to position ourselves to the guy who doesn't want to get fired for buying Palbox. And that's what crossing the chasm is all about. As you correctly described, that's Jeffrey Moore. And you'll probably ask me that question in a few minutes, but that's my favorite book right now, man, for sure.
What is so someone that you sign up that has 500 seats, I mean, what is that contract value at for you for a year?
Yeah, so that'll be a 6-figure contract.
Okay, got it. Good. So you are, I mean, so on a per seat basis, what are you typically charging?
Ooh.
Or it depends.
It ranges on price volume.
Yeah. So if they buy a lot of seats, you give it cheaper per seat.
Yeah. And we'll do like other people, we can be flexible if we can do customer success or a logo, pretty standard SaaS flexibility for a startup.
Tell me about churn.
Well below the average churn.
Which is what?
So we'll be well below 7% this year. Annual churn, customer churn.
7%. Okay. Is that logo churn annually?
Yeah, we'll be well below that.
Now, what is your revenue churn?
Ah, man, that is the one KPI we are not tracking right now.
Okay, you don't have it yet. I mean, that seems like that'd be critical for you because if you have customers that range from a six-figure contract all the way down to someone that's just a grand contract, you don't mind churning people paying you a grand. But my God, if you churn one of those big customers, that's not a good thing. That'd be very high revenue churn.
Yeah. So knock on wood, the customers that churn generally retire, join a bigger firm, just normal SMB kind of things that happen in a business. So
Yeah.
we don't have churn on the larger customers.
Yeah, that I mean, just to be clear though, that churn in the SMB space, 7%, that's annual. I mean,
Yes.
right. So like that's less than 1% monthly. I mean, that's well below standard for SMB space.
That's correct.
Which makes me wonder, like, are you totally undervaluing this? Are you underpriced? Should your price point be 5 times what it is?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. We've done a lot of experiments, and I think we've settled on an appropriate pricing model.
Have you ever just said, you know what, we're going to suck it up for a day, see what happens, and just 5x our seat price and see what happens for a week?
We've done that too.
What happened?
Yeah. Not the greatest results.
What happened?
We had a bad month.
How so?
A lot of people walked.
So you had a lot of churn.
Not churn, they just didn't buy. The prospects didn't buy.
If they have this need and they don't buy from you, where are they buying?
Oh, it's a rather crowded space, and the other products introduce tons of friction, right? So, remembering to type in a keyword, forcing the recipient to go to a portal, create a password, log in. I mean, just complete nightmare. But some of these prospects, they're just looking to be compliant. And they just want to check a box, and they'll go buy the cheap stuff, even though in the long run, if you factor in the cost of your staff and help desk, it's going to be much more expensive.
So does your tool, like if I'm a patient emailing, my local emergency center that I went to last week because I broke my finger playing football, and I'm emailing them via Gmail. I mean, can I use Gmail and you figure out a way to make that HIPAA compliant somehow, or I have to go and log on to some membership site somewhere?
Great question, Nathan. That's one of our top blog posts. So gmail.com is not a HIPAA compliant email solution, but if you're using G Suite, it can be configured to be HIPAA compliant. And that's where we come in. We can seamlessly wrap around a G Suite account and provide that HIPAA compliance for our customers.
And I mean, you seem like a pretty cool dude. You're from Hawaii. This is like a very unsexy space. Why the hell do you get into like the health tech space, specifically HIPAA compliant emails?
Yeah, man. Talking to customers. That's how this came up.
Yeah, but do you have a background in like, were you working at a hospital or something?
We are outsiders to healthcare. I've been doing email for a long time, and our customers started talking about this HIPAA stuff. Did some research, and I was like, "Whoa, man, this is a really messed up industry." So yeah. Email strong suit, healthcare outsider.
Got it.
But I think that serves us. It can serve us well to be an outsider.
What are you paying to acquire new customers? What's your CAC?
Hold on a second. I got those numbers for you.
I love it. You must listen to the show. You know all your numbers.
Hey, man, I want to do my homework.
Are you listening?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Why do you listen?
Well, I wanted to be prepared for today's call, man.
Okay,
sure.
so you listen just to prepare for today's call.
But now I'm starting to listen to more stuff now. Yeah, so I'm hooked.
Good. Yeah. You're hooked. That's good to hear.
So our CAC's 900.
Okay, good. So you're spending $900, and so that means that it takes you a little under a year to get that money back.
That's correct.
Okay, and what do you assume lifetime value is on these customers?
Well, with our low churn, our LTV, as best we can calculate for being a startup, is approaching 12K.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where LTV can get so dangerous because you have such a low churn. If you just do it based off math, 1 divided by your monthly churn gives you the number of months they stay with you times your ARPU of $83 gives you basically 12 grand. So, I mean, look, it makes sense. We'll see if that holds kind of as you scale over time. What about growth rate? What are you growing at right now year over year?
Oh, we've tripled in the last 12 months.
Okay, got it. So you're doing about 30, 40 grand in December of 2016.
Yeah, probably. We've tripled.
That's about a year ago. Yeah. Okay, very good. Let's wrap up here, Howla, with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book? Besides Crossing the Chasm, because I know you're a big fan of that already.
Shoot.
I put you on the spot. All right.
Okay, Behind the Cloud by Mark Benioff.
That one's good too. Okay, number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Obviously, Mark Benioff, Godfather SaaS, and I also enjoy following Peter Gassner, CEO of Viva.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
At the risk of sounding banal, it's probably Slack.
Okay. And 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Yeah, man. So 7.
Okay, that's not bad.
So
And
kind of a lot. Yeah.
what's your situation? Married, single, have kids?
Deferring marriage and kids, trying to hit that home run, man.
Single and no kids, right?
Yeah.
All right. And how old are you?
41.
41. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Yeah. So I've been thinking about this one. I think it's good to have focus. I don't know if you can have focus when you're 20, but focus is good, man. Focus is good.
Guys, there you have it. HIPAA compliant email with Haula from Palbox. Launched the company back in 2015. Today, they're serving over 1,200 customers, paying $80-$90 per month. They've tripled year over year in terms of MRR, now doing about $100,000 per month. So that makes them obviously north of $1 million in ARR. 7% logo churn annually. So super healthy churn. They're spending $900 to acquire customers and getting that back in under 12 months. Lifetime value, because churn is so low, is approaching kind of 11, 12 grand. They've got a team of 12, all based in Silicon Valley. Again, focusing on HIPAA compliant email. Haula, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan. Right on, man.